All right, it's 1:05. We're going to start the webinar, the second webinar for Temera. Thanks for everyone for your patience on waiting this, just having some uh, people attending the event, having some connection issues. But I think we're getting more and more people. Thanks everyone. Again, welcome to the second webinar. This is the continuation of our program that is going to be running around the entire year. So today we're going to focus on safety, how Temeda improve fleet and driver safety. We're going to talk about all the issues and what we can do and the tools we can provide for managing the fleet and safety of the driver and so on. Can you go to the next slide, please? So the webinar series that Temeda has created, it's about a series of webinars that we wanted to give access to all our customers, dealers, and everyone using the Temeda app, the platform, in order to maximize their use, understand better, make sure that they take full advantage of all the benefit that we have. And for that, we have created a great series from now until the end of the year. So I'll encourage everyone to come to the webinar and then be able to have a better understanding, grab additional information, and be able to interact with our experts. It happens the second to last Thursday of each one of the month, and it's usually we do it at 1 p.m. Central Time. What we're going to do today on the agenda, we're going to have an overview. We're going to focus on safety, and for that we're going to have a Ryan Knights. Ryan Knights has many years of experience, and he is our customer success manager. He's an expert in applications, telematics, understanding the issues. He knows he's a hands-on on what's happening out there in the field. So his experience is what we're bringing to this webinar to make sure that we have the right person to sell, to promote and sell our capabilities. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A session for people that have any questions or any doubts or anything that you wanna know. Well, feel free to either send it through the chat or at the same time wait to the end and we'll open the session. So on the logistics side, can you go back for a minute? The logistics side, we're going to have everyone muted, even though you have the power to turn on your microphones as well. But we'll be muted just to avoid any noise. And if you have a question, you can either send it, as I said initially, or you can wait until the end. And also want to make sure that the copy of this presentation and the webinar will be available in our YouTube channel. So we will publish it a couple of days after we go over this. So with that, I'm going to start. My name is Gustavo Olano. I'm the Vice President of Marketing for Temera. And what we want to bring today is not only the platform that we have, but it's a strong organization that has was born from a 70 years company that has expertise in technology. So Temera was born as a company focused on telematics and technology. We are a software as a service company that have experience in the field for more than 7 years. So we focus basically in the industrial IoT. We normalize data and we bring multiple sources into one platform that integrates with your ERP, and we're allowed to give everyone the capacity to manage your fleet, be able to create a solution that fits your needs and your business requirements. We specialize in creating solutions that can be visual, that have the capabilities to industrial IoT integrations, and be able to maximize your value when it comes to manage your fleet and you have telematics requirements. We also have the capabilities of the APIs, so integration is a major capability, customization, and be able to adapt and connect to other applications is something that it's in our core. Understanding there is a need to connectivity with what other customers are working with. We have those capabilities in house. We have a strong team to develop. So why Temera? Basically, we have a robust ecosystem, as I mentioned before, that allow us to manage different fleets of equipment and assets. And we can manage from the light equipment to heavy equipment, or better yet, to be able to combine both the mixed fleet and have the solutions that are needed for the for managing the your assets, your equipment. Also, the big capability of customize and be able to understand the needs that each one of our customer has. And here it's very important to say that our team, and as I said before, people like Ryan and other people in the team that had the experience going out and understanding what's happening, and be able to bring that into the company and to the organization and understand those needs and be able to customize the solution. It's a great capability that we the Temera has, and we as a company embrace on a daily basis. Similarly, bringing different devices, integrating different technologies, it's in our core as well. So we clearly understand the needs of customization to create the right solution for each customer. And at the same time, we have the security architecture that is required to perform in nowadays. So we do have a strong infrastructure and a strong support to protect data and be able to respond until any requirements or any threat. With that, I'm going to go to the next one, please. The webinar today, it's about safety, and we're going to go over different topics, but we're going to cover the culture of the organization, what the cameras can do, what about driver safety, how do you protect them? Everybody knows that human being is the most valuable asset. How do you protect them? Dashboards on the fleet overview, inspections and maintenance, and as you say, the safety alert, how you can prevent that, how can help you driving on safety. And for that, I'm gonna turn it into Ryan. Ryan is all yours, and thank you again for coming today. All yours, Ryan.
Thanks, Gustavo. Okay, so I'm going to start today just by discussing company culture. To me, I think this is a very important aspect for any company that's trying to improve safety at their company, driver safety and equipment safety. Some of the parts of building a company or building a safety culture would be like an internal marketing campaign. So maybe having something on bulletin board or email that goes out to all the drivers and managers. Just maybe doing something regularly too, like weekly or monthly. Just sending a signal to your team members that your company embraces safety. Another thing that I believe is effective, we find effective, is companies that reward safe driving, putting an emphasis on prevention over punishment. But then when you do have to do some corrective action, you don't want it to be a surprise to the driver that you're having to do this. It should just be a normal part of your safety conversations that are ongoing, and just building a culture of safety. And an important part of being able to improve safety is being able to measure performance, of course, which is another main thing that we can help out with, using our dashboards, alerts, our camera systems. And so I'm going to go a little bit more into how to do all that in Temeda too. Okay, I think one of the most effective ways of improving safety would be to monitor driver behavior. So monitoring, our camera systems allow you to have a camera in cab facing the camera, as well as up to 8 connected cameras total to one camera DVR system. So you can kind of get a view out the front, backs, sides if you wish to, or you could just have a single camera in cab or 2 cameras one facing front and back. And what these camera systems do is they automatically capture events such as like when a driver is looking away from the road while the system detects that the asset's in motion. So, like that could be potentially an unsafe behavior if the asset's in motion and you're looking off to the side somewhere. Some other types of events would be harsh acceleration, braking, or maneuvering, as well as like shock events. So if they're going over a huge bump or if they happen to run into something, the camera system would automatically capture, you know, this is a configurable time, but 20, let's say 20 seconds before and 20 seconds after the event. And it saves it in our database, so you can go back and review them later if you want, or if you choose to just if your asset encounters an issue like an accident or something like that, the system should detect the shock event and it automatically save that footage so you can go back and review that. And then of course we have a panic button that can be configured too. So if the driver feels like he's in an unsafe situation, you can hit the panic button, and that'll also start recording, an automatic recording. And if any of these events are missed, you can always request video from a specific date and time too. So if you want to go back and look at 10 minutes of video footage, you could go do that too. Okay. We offer a standard driver safety summary report. So what this report does is it counts the number of safety events. So I mentioned how the cameras can automatically capture harsh maneuvering events. Our normal telematics devices, like our standard telematics GPS devices that aren't video telematics, they can also capture these types of events. Harsh acceleration, harsh braking, so they can kind of count the number of times these events happen. And then our scorecard sums it all together. This scorecard is great because our system allows you to assign drivers to assets, and this scorecard will keep track of that driver's score, even if they're switching between different assets. So you can kind of get a snapshot of how that driver has performed, even if it's not the same telematics device, it's actually measuring that driver's performance, overall performance. It can be a collection of different devices or assets that the driver has been driving in, which is a nice thing. Another thing that this report incorporates are speeding events. So there's two different types of speeding events that we capture, and they're both configurable. So top speeding is the first one, and that's just an overall top speed event. So if a vehicle is traveling above 80 kilometers per hour or 70 miles per hour, that would just be your top threshold. And anytime that a message is sent where the device is traveling above that speed, it's captured in this report. And then posted speed, we use our Google, our information from Google, which is posted speed information. If an asset is traveling faster than the posted speed limit of that street, then we can also capture that event. So, and that's actually configurable. So you could say it has to be traveling at 5 miles over the speed limit or 10 miles over the speed limit, whatever is acceptable for your corporation. Most common is just 0 miles over the speed limit. They just don't want their drivers traveling above it. And then, of course, this report right here sums all those together, and then creates what's called like a safety rate for that driver. So that's basically the number of safety events that they occur per 100 miles. And in that way, we kind of develop a score for each driver, and then also how we summarize the fleet performance too. And so this report is this is a useful report for actually seeing the actual events that happened, both when they occurred and where they occurred. You can see the actual speed that they were traveling at, which caused the event. And that's the driver safety detail report. And if you, from the summary report, you can actually click on each driver's total events, and it'll take you to a driver safety scorecard detail report for just that driver and all the events that driver has marked against them, which can be useful for coaching sessions or for seeing if the driver was traveling for an extended period above a posted speed limit, as opposed to maybe just trying to pass somebody. where it maybe just was just for a minute. I find it useful to look at the total trip rather than just in one individual event. Okay, that brings me back to how I think is the best way to measure performance and performance improvement. Our fleet overview dashboard is based on Power BI through Azure. Um, you can come in here and you can compare individual assets, individual drivers, or you can look at your whole fleet's performance over time. Our dashboard goes back over a year in time, and you can break out the different segments by day, week, or month, so you can really get a good summary of improvement over time and whether or not you're making it over time. And you can actually dig into individual drivers to see how if they're improving over time using this report easily. Other things you could do in here too is maybe compare it if you have different year make models of vehicles, if people tend to drive at higher speeds and different types of vehicle types, or these are the different things that you can kind of dig into in the dashboard. Another thing that's good in this dashboard is being able to spot outlier data. So if you have any individual drivers or assets that have an especially high rate of events, they'd be easy to see in this report here. And if you actually click on, here's a picture of this little dot. This would be an individual driver or asset. If you click on it, it actually singles out cross filters for just that driver, and you can see the types of events that driver's had in the dashboard, as well as when they occurred too. So this is a really powerful tool to really dig into the data of this different safety events, and really helps you develop a plan on how you can improve your company's safety performance. All right. I think another important part of a good safety program is having a good preventative maintenance and maybe a daily inspection checklist, so that any drivers that may be getting into the vehicle, if they're doing a 10-point safety inspection before they actually start using it, that's just another way to ensure that they're driving a safe, reliable vehicle. Our checklists, our inspections are basically could work like checklists, and you can customize any tasks that you'd want to put in there. So you could do anything like just making sure they have a safety vest or helmet or something like that if they're going to a work site. These are all things that you could add to your checklist to make sure driver has before they leave the yard. All right. Last up, the thing I'd like to discuss is our safety alerts. We have several different alerts: top speed, speed limit, erratic driving, which captures all of the harsh maneuvering events, harsh acceleration, harsh braking. And our alerts are another good way of saving events. So you could also set up live notifications, which is either SMS notifications or email notifications. These can be configured to go to safety personnel or branch personnel, or you could have them configured to go straight to the driver if you chose to, so that they could have a record of their own violations, so that it's no surprise when they have to have that conversation with the manager. Another thing that could be done is set up webhooks, which is basically a computer code that can be sent to other enterprise systems too. So there's a lot of flexibility with these alerts.
I want to also remind you that this is the second one on the webinars that we're doing. As I said, we started a month ago, and certainly the next one pretty interesting on heavy duty versus light duty. This is one of the areas where Temera has a strong knowledge managing the fleets, the mixed fleet, and all the requirements that are needed into the for the light equipment and the heavy one. So we do have those capabilities. It's going to be a great webinar. Again, it's going to be on the second to last Thursday, I'm sorry, of the month, and it's going to be at 1 p.m. Central Time. And I invite you to come and to register. You will be receiving our notification well in advance, and then certainly we'll be happy to have you and attend the event. I think we're gonna thank you everyone for coming today. Again, we are here to support and help in any way we can. And please feel free to send any question or anything afterwards. We'll be happy to respond to you. Thanks again, and have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.